Okay guys, today it's a cold day in the bluegrass. It's so cold that I had to break out this awesome Wolverine hat, which is making me feel even more awesome than I already am. So I'm going to give you some good drills to do that for your New Year's resolutions. You can just get up every day, spend 10 minutes working on sitting and downing and standing, and we're going to get you to heel your dog in this position, and we're going to get you to heel like this, so when you go out to the dog park or wherever, you can show off, get you some attention, get some attention for your dog, get some attention on your New Year's Eve party next year, whatever it's going to be. I just want you spending time with the dogs, and I want you having a good time, because if you spend some quality time with the dog, he'll act better. And if he acts better, you can spend some more time with him. And so we're going to take 2014 and we're just going to roll up every month. We're going to spend a little bit more time with our dogs, going to have a little better time, and we're going to incorporate them into our lives a little bit more. And we're going to start with some fun little drills. Let's get to work right now. Okay guys, so today what we're going to do is we're going to review base patterns. Remember, I call a base pattern anything that I can use later on to build complex behavior chains on. So the one we start out with, and the one you can knock out every morning in about 5 or 10 minutes, is sit and standing down. And sit and standing down are primary postures for teaching complex behavior chains. Okay, so you remember when this guy was a puppy, or when I had some other puppies on the videos, I start out with these dogs. I just take a piece of food and I start letting them follow my hand around. Okay, so you see how this dog, if you have a piece of food in your hand and you pull it up over their head, they kind of got to sit down to get it. Well, then they start to figure out, though, that that's what you want. He starts to figure out that good things happen when he's in this posture. So once he starts to realize that, then I'm able to add a little time between treats. And I just call that adding pauses. So I give him a treat, and at first I give him treat, 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 treat. But then I give him a treat, and I pause. I might do something, come back and give him a treat. Okay? And once I get him to where he understands that it might be a little while before he gets his treat, then I start adding distance. So getting stays in posture is all about adding time and distance. Okay? So I give him a treat and I pause. Then I start giving him a treat and I pause and step. Then I come back. Okay? So I do that for a few days or a week or 2 weeks or just however long it takes. No reason to stress about it. Then I would take 2 steps away and wait just a little bit longer. Okay, now if I'm doing this right, that dog is in that sitting position and he's doing it because he likes to do it. He knows that when he waits, when you wait for something, it really makes everything a lot better. Okay, now simultaneously during the day, I was just taking treats every so often, letting him follow my hand around. And so I started to do this. I just started to take him out of his sit posture. I would just take my hand and go between his legs. And I would start in with the same thing where I'd add some pauses. So I'd give him a treat and I'd pause and I'd talk to somebody, then I'd come back with a treat. And this got pretty good, and it got pretty good pretty fast. So then I was able to add distance, so I step away and I come back. So that's time and distance. So getting a stay is all about get your posture and then add a little time and a little distance, and every day add a little bit more, right? And since he was starting to get good at following my hand around, I was able to come while he was in this down position, and I was able to just pull my hand out a little bit, and he would stand up, and he already knew that holding a posture led to good things, so he'd stand up. Okay, well now the next thing, and this is the neat thing, this is how you get to where they do things when you tell them to, is he started to realize if my hand went up like this, I was probably going to want him to sit down. And he started to realize if my hand went down like this, I was probably going to do that thing where I was going to lead him by the nose into that down position. Okay, and if my hand came out like this, then he knows, oh, we're going to do that thing where I'm standing up and good stuff's happening. Okay, so he starts to get really attuned to my hands, right? And that's the beginning of cue discrimination. So what I want to get first is kind of get him to where he understands to watch for those hands and see what those hands are doing. So I'd start going from my middle. Okay, my treat pouch is over here. I'd back up a little bit, and my hand would go up a little bit, and I'd give him a treat. Now the reason he sat there, he just anticipated that I was going to make him go all the way into that posture. I'd come back to my middle, and I'd go down a little bit like this, and he would lay down. And that's pretty neat. And I'd turn like this, I'd pull my hand out, and he would stand up. So see how it starts to work, and really, it's just so easy. Now, so next thing I want to do is I want to get it on vocal cue. So I put my hands in my middle, and then I would say a word, sit, and then my hand comes up. Good. And so I'd say sit. Good boy. And now I can add time and distance just like before, because he's already pretty familiar with the idea of staying, right? Okay, so I'm going to back up and I'm going to say sit. Good boy. I'm going to wait a little while and I'm going to give him a treat. Okay? Now, then I'm going to back up and I'm going to say sit. And I'm going to wait a little while, but this time I'm not going to accept standing up. Okay? So I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait. I'm going to be very disciplined with my hands because he knows if I'm talking and we're demonstrating this, that if I move my hands in certain ways, he's supposed to stand up. So you saw a minute ago I was illustrating how sensitive he's becoming to my hands. Now I'm going to be more disciplined. He's going to stay in that sit position, right? And then I'm going to come back here. My hands go to my middle, and I'm going to say down and make a small motion. Down. Hands are very disciplined. I come back and I give him his treat. I'm going to step completely out of the frame, and I'm going to turn to 360, and I'm going to come back and give him a treat. And then each time that I do this, you know, he's gaining confidence that maintaining that posture is a good thing. I don't have to yell at him and fuss at him because he knows what we're going to do next. Okay? So he stood back up here, and we know what we're going to do because we're going to go from the middle, sit, good, down, good. And sometimes that anticipation will work against you, okay? So like right there where he tried to go through that pattern all by himself without waiting for my cues, what I did is I just took my attention away from him and made him realize that he can't push me through the pattern. So we're going to go back and we're going to go sit, down, stand. Then we're going to add time and distance to each of these things. Sit, good, down, good. So that's a vocal cue, a small hand cue. Good boy. And then a little bit of soothing talk. Remember, we got to talk to him easy. Stand up. Good boy. Sit. Good. Down. Good. Now, okay, so that takes a little while. And these dogs that really like to chase a ball, you want to use your food like I'm using here to get this dog kind of squared away with the idea of being calm and patient. And once he's really good at that though, and once you've developed some good self-control within him, you want to start to introduce the ball and you'll get some vigor. Now when you first introduce the ball and fetching to this pattern, expect for the dog to mess up some, because that excitement that comes from chasing the ball a lot of times will bleed over and mess up your stay. But watch how his demeanor changes a little bit as I pull this ball out of my pocket. Okay, so I got a ball, see, ball, okay, and I'm going to tell him, oh, it's a good boy, Floyd, and I'm going to get him a little excited. I'm going to tell him, sit, good boy. I'm going to tell him he's down, good. I'm going to tell him stand, good. I'm going to tell him sit, good. I'm going to tell him he's down, good. And I'm going to tell him to stand, and then I'm going to throw his ball for him. Now, if I've done this right, what's going to happen is that dog's going to go get that ball, and he's going to come right back over here, and he's going to jump right back up on this table because he knows that the way to get me to throw this ball is to sit and to stand and to down for this particular exercise. So notice I didn't have to force him into it. I didn't have to make him do it. I just said, listen, if you'll do a few things for me, if you do a little work, then we'll do a little play. If you want this, you've got to do something for me. But don't introduce this ball until you've got some pretty reliable behavior on your sit and your standing down, because it's hard for a dog just to be still. They don't understand the reason for it, much less to be still when there's a ball involved. So it takes a while. But if you every day are working on that concept of work before play, then you're going to be in good shape. So let's go over it one more time. I'm going to back up a ways here, okay? And we're going to go through our pattern a few times. And we're going to go sit, Floyd, sit. Good. If he messes up, don't worry about it. See, that's what happens when you add this ball sometimes. You can see it maybe a little bit. He's shaking. He wants this ball so much. So what I'm doing is I'm making him hold that posture till he calms down. Down. Good boy. Stand up. Good. Sit. And I'm going to wait for him to do it all the way, you know, because he's so excited over this ball. Down. Good boy. Stand up. Oh, that's a good boy. Sit. Good. Down. And once he's done a little bit of work, then it's time to play. Good boy. And like I said, if I did this work right, he's going to go get that ball. That's his play. But he's going to come right back over here and say, hey, can we do some more work? A man ought to never look at work as anything that's problematic. He should look at work as something that leads to play. So even though once I introduced this ball, you started seeing the dog shaking a little bit and carrying on and having a hard time holding his posture, Okay, he wanted to do the work, and a lot of times people will make a mistake here, and they'll think if that dog messes up on his sit or his stand or his down or his heel or his out, if you're doing bite work, that the dog's being hard-headed or dominant. That's not what it is. It's just that they love to do this stuff so much. It's hard to sit still. I mean, think about yourself. If you have access to skiing or going snorkeling or something, you don't want to sit in your hotel room, you know. So this guy, he wants to do whatever it takes to get this ball, and if he doesn't sit perfectly or down perfectly or stand perfectly, it's not anything against me. He's trying. I mean, you see him go get the ball and come back and jump on the table. He's trying his best, okay? But he has a little bit of a hard time with it. And as long as he's trying, that's all I'm after. He doesn't have to do it perfect right now. This dog's a little over a year old. He doesn't have to do it perfect, but I need perfect effort. You know, I mean, I'm after perfect effort every time. So we'll go one more time just to let him have a little work and play session. Down. Good boy. See that enthusiasm? Stand up. Good. Sit. Up. Sit. Good. Down. Good. Stand. Good. Sit. Good. Down. Good. Stand. Good. Sit. Good. Down. Good. Stand. Okay, he's off for work. Now, you see there in that pattern, in the very beginning of it, he had just a little bit of a flub. Okay, I'm not going to punish him for that, because what it is he's just excited, you know, and when you're real excited, it can be hard to get things perfect. You know, it's just hard. So watch your jerking, and you know, watch your yelling and your fussing, and watch your you know, tendency to call those kinds of things a dog being hard-headed or trying to be dominant or whatever. This dog's not trying to give me a hard time. He's just so excited about chasing this ball as he has a hard time sitting still. All right. So anytime a dog's excited about work, you're doing the right thing. Okay, and even if he messes up, as long as he's excited about his work and he's trying hard, that's what you're after. Okay, so every morning I want you to give me 10 minutes of that. 10 minutes of sit and down and stand, and then I want you to send me a video this spring of you out there doing it. Make me proud of you. So let's move on to a different drill.